Hi, Cammie, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. You guys look fabulous.
Hi, Cammie, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear
We
me?
have this last
We
time.
can hear you.
You guys look fabulous.
She keep calling me, telling me that. That's fine.
What is going on?
Yeah, her husband checked on her. And now- Yeah. And then
I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but give me a moment. So,
that side of it. Richard, we recording.
Oh, yes, I'm good.
No, you're fine. Welcome to our school board meeting. I'm Olivia Johnson. I'm the vice president. Our president is on quarantine, and so she is with us on Zoom, but not here in person. It is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. This is our regular board meeting. We have Jared Cooper, Flo Merrill, Elizabeth Payne, all board members, our business guru, administrator, Richard Reese, and our superintendent, Jeff Covington, as well as our district staff with us today. I just need to read this statement. This meeting of the Murray City School District Board of Education is being held at the Murray City School District office. Due to concerns of health and safety around COVID, only those on the agenda are in attendance in person. The public may participate in this meeting via our YouTube channel. A link to the YouTube channel for this meeting is included in the meeting agenda, which can be found on our webpage at murrayschools.org under the Board of Education link. As posted on the agenda for this meeting, public comments could be emailed to info@murrayschools.org until 5 p.m. All right, so we are going to start with our pledge of allegiance from some of my favorite parks and campers. I was their scout leader too, so this is kind of a test.
no pressure.
Will the audience please stand up and put your right hand over your heart? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, boys. All right. We need to approve our consent agenda. If I can get a motion. Motion by. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion?
Who seconded that? Sorry, I couldn't.
And if you can remember again, just talk really loud in your mic, that would be helpful. We do have a new speaker, but
Okay, so you didn't get that, right? I don't know how that would. So we're gonna start out with our delegations with Annie Jensen from Parkside is gonna tell us what's going on in there.
Can I just speak on this?
Yeah.
yes, it's an opening for you, yes.
Okay, so these guys were prepared to tell you their name and their favorite subject, so
Oh,
you have. them
I
tell
did
you.
forget that part, because I'm not usually in charge.
Nope, that's okay.
My name is Dallin Jensen, and my favorite subject in school is free time. My name is Connor Jensen, and my favorite subject in school is ELA and lunch.
You say it. They're gonna help me with this part. I had some other kids, but because in light of what's going on, we just brought my own kids. So a few of the things, my name's Annie Jensen, I'm the Parkside PTA president. So a few things that we've done, like membership, we know is low. So we've just been very transparent and kind of put out on Parent Square what our numbers are. And we've just been really transparent about it and just been honest, like we only have 30 members and we need more. So either consider donating or joining our PTA. And we said, this is a good year to join. If you don't want to be too involved or have to plan anything, this is kind of a good year to do it. So we've been able to increase our numbers. I know PTA membership is lower, but we are up, I think, by 8 is where we are at, which is great. And we've been able to raise, just by asking for donations, it's been about $500. So that's been a positive feedback for us. We have been able to work with another organization that one of our PTA members knew to get books donated, which has been awesome for our kids. We also are planning on doing, we just think, we talked about in our PTA meeting today also, is making sure our teachers feel really important right now. So we have made sure that we're doing fun things for our teachers every month. So we've got some fun things for them planned. We want to do like dinner for parent, we've done dinner for parent teacher conferences. We gave them candy bars. We want to do like mini pies for Thanksgiving and some sort of Christmas something. So these guys are going to tell us, do you want to go first? Okay, tell them one thing, a couple things that the school and PTA have done, and they're going to tell you.
Our school gave us these backpacks, and it also came with a ruler over in this one, and an eraser in that one, and it also came with a book.
So the PTA had excess funds from our scholastics book fairs that we've done in the past, and so we just gave it to the school and said, let's get some books. And so they bought tons of books and gave every student a free book inside of the backpacks that we're donating, I think from Costco. So that's been awesome. Hey, you want to share the other one?
Another thing that the PTA did for us is they're going to read a book, and they will put it on the TVs that they are installing in our school, and they also donated some hand sanitizer bottles.
Yeah, so that was our principal's idea. We have TVs that one in the hall, one in the lunchroom, and so she just wanted to see if PTA members are filming ourselves reading. I'm just going to put those up while they're eating lunch and walking through the halls. So we just want to say, like, the staff and our school is just amazing. They've done an excellent job. So we're just doing what we can in light of everything, and it's going. So that's all good.
Good. Thank you, friends and family and Parkside. Because I'm not used to doing this, I failed to introduce Lexi Cunningham at our meeting. She's the Executive Director of the Utah School Board School Superintendent Association. and the Associate Executive Director of the Utah School Boards Association. So we appreciate you spending some time with us. And our next delegation would be Region PTA.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to be in front of the Murray City School Board tonight. My name is Jeanette Boland, and I am the Region 19 PTA Director. Region 19 is our school district, is Murray. There's 21 regions in the state of Utah. And as a region director, I sit on the Utah PTA Board of Directors. And every year, one of the things that the state PTA does is honor educators, support staff, volunteers by accepting nominations from their school. And this year, our Murray School District was well represented. So I'm excited to present these awards tonight. Normally, non-COVID, these awards would be presented in an assembly at the school before the student body and teachers and staff of the school that is represented. So this is a great opportunity to present those to you. So if I could have Corey Peterson come up, please. It is a great honor to recognize Corey. She is one of only 4 winners that were awarded this award this year for the Utah PTA Outstanding Support Staff Award. And I could go on, and I really would have loved to read her whole nomination, but I just wanted to highlight a couple points of it because there's just not words to describe someone so amazing. But Corey has been the librarian at Macmillan. This is her 12th year there, and she has never taken a sick day in all those 12 years. Her nomination was full of incredible praise from parents, teachers, and staff at Macmillan. Mrs. Peterson has a unique and outstanding rapport with students. She expects students to live up to her expectations for them and does that with her fun personality, patience, and her love for the students. Mrs. Peterson takes a special interest in the hesitant reader and helps them find books that they will enjoy, and in turn that means that they begin to enjoy reading. One teacher noted, and I think this is such a great honor to be told of this of her, Corey is a bright spot on the darkest of days. Macmillan is a much happier place with Mrs. Peterson there. So again, we are so grateful to have Mrs. Peterson in our school district, and the Utah PTA wants to present her with a certificate and a pen and a $100 gift card from Mountain America Credit Union. And then if I could have Mike Okamura come up, please. It's with honor that I present Mike Okamura with the Utah PTA Outstanding Educator Award. There were only 5 of these awarded in the state this year. Mike has taught in the Murray City School District for 16 years. This is his 17th year. And again, it's hard to just pinpoint a few things, but a couple of things that were written in his nomination and highlights of Mike are his great love for his students. And he is so good at creating a safe and loving environment for them. He's fair and he's consistent in being able to promote positive behavior. He uses rewards. I think one of the favorites among his students is the reward of being able to hold the class snake. He takes a personal interest in each student and attends many of their performances, matches, games, and shows with his sweet wife. He makes an extra effort to attend activities with those students who are struggling with behavioral issues. He's organized fun runs. He runs with his students during the turkey trots and has organized many, many ski trips for 4th graders. Each year, Mike also works tirelessly to obtain grants in order to purchase shell from the Bug House Quarry in Delta, Utah. And this gives his students the chance to chisel these rocks to find trilobites, and see firsthand how fossils are formed. He keeps parents informed, has served on several community councils, is a strong supporter of PTA, and usually is the first one there at PTA events. So it's with honor that I present Mike Okamura with the Utah PTA Outstanding Educator Award. Again, a certificate and a pen and a $100 gift card from Mountain America.
We just want to say congratulations to Mrs. Peterson. We could not run our schools without our support staff. And Mike and I started raising kids 20 years ago in the same neighborhood before he was a teacher, and it's really a thrill.
Again, a certificate and a pen and a $100 gift card from Mountain America.
It's a thrill to watch, like, where you come from and where you are now as a teacher. And so, and our kids are still awesome, I think. That started out together. All right, our next delegation is MEA.
I will read what Principal Burnside, our MEA, oh, sorry, no, she's not MEA.
Yeah.
Wow, we're just
We
really.
can go to that one. Let's just go to that.
I don't think we have anyone from MEA
I
here
don't
tonight.
see anybody from MEA.
We'll go to Massa, I apologize. Massa, Principal Burnside, who is the Massa representative, said she is joining us electronically on YouTube. Massa doesn't have anything to say other than that we welcome the board members into our schools to see the measures we have in place to keep our students and staff safe, and what a great job everyone is doing among the craziness that is happening. And so thank you, again, our principals, very much would love to have you in their building, so thank you.
All right, MESPA, thank you, everything, you're good. We appreciate you guys. And Jeannie, the foundation.
Okay, I just hope this is the final answer, and I can't guarantee it because it's 2020. But we have Pinnacle scheduled for March 11th, and we're going to honor the people who received it this last spring. And we're going to do whatever we can do, but it may be just virtual, and we will do it through Zoom. We'll have the sponsors there. We'll have, but we're going to go ahead and go forward with it. They already have received their baskets and their checks, but we will go ahead and do the presentation of the statuette and also the video. So that's kind of where that's at. Now, we're still going to do Pinnacle Awards this next year, and that is scheduled for May 6th. And so that will be our second Pinnacle Award evening. So put those on your calendar, and hopefully, fingers crossed, and, we'll be back to having a dinner and doing what we normally do. But who knows? We don't know. But it will be virtual if we need to be. So we'll kind of go from there. And I did want you also to know that we did receive our GI donation of $7,000, and that's gone out to the schools for everyone to make use of. We've also received our Larry Miller donation for this year. It's down this year, but they kind of reallocated things that really didn't have anything to do with 2020, but they reallocated to our low-income children in Granite District. Of the 65,000 children in that district, 35,000 of them are low income. So needless to say, they are a little bit more than very good. And so anyway, and then we received our quarters for Christmas, and that donation was down this year. And as our golf tournament, we ended up buying a lot of things we wouldn't normally buy because donations are just not happening in the same way they are at this point in time. But they're still coming in. They're just in different forms and that kind of thing. So I think everything's moving forward, but that's kind of where we're at. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for being flexible and continuing on. We have no patron statements.
No patron statements tonight.
So we're going to move to the report of the board, and Jaron, you're first.
I just want to express my gratitude to the teachers for the school district and how hard they're working that out to try and find solutions to the challenges we have with online learning and hybrid learning, as well as in class and attendance. And I'm amazed at how well that they're moving forward with it despite the challenges. And I wish we could find opportunities and ways to do more for them.
Oh,
Well, today was the first time I went to a school community council meeting, and I will be doing that in the future. But I agree with Jaron, our teachers have been more than amazing because they have spent time at home, many, many hours, and trying to help all the families. And I just think we have the greatest principals, custodians, the cooking staff, the teachers, everyone. And they're just working as a team as you look into the schools and what the children, well, I walk a lot, and a lot of the children I say, what did you do today? And they will tell me, and then they tell me how much they love their teachers. So I just think we have a wonderful district.
Just like to echo what you said there, as women, I appreciate our teachers and staff, and it's been super stressful all around for everybody, I think, and I think that we've done a really good job at it, showing that like our spread isn't coming from our schools because everyone is doing their part, and especially with record-breaking days almost every day, I think that's really important that they're able to stay safe in school. So
yeah, I agree. I echo everything that was said. Just a quick update on UHSAA. Girls wrestling is officially sanctioned, and when we get off this pause in sports, we will have hydration testing and weigh-ins, and we will have a girls wrestling team at Murray, which is exciting. Girls wrestling is really a sport that's coming up and has a lot of participation, and so it's another chance for our girls to be involved. We will be working on realignment again. Amongst all this craziness, things keep moving forward, and it's a realignment year next year, and so that usually doesn't move too much for Murray. We just hope to still get to play within our region. We like to play close to home, let's just say that. We like to play Olympus and Skyline and those schools from Hillcrest right around us. So I will keep you guys up to date on that. We are, as Lexi is too, swimming through this latest pause in sports and trying to figure out what that means. But currently, everything is just taking a breath and taking a break. And the plan is to move forward with winter sports. So we're excited for those students that involves, the winter sports and clubs. Okay, so we will now go to our report of the staff, and our teaching and learning team is up first with Mr. Bushnell.
Thank you. I just wanted to give you a brief update where we're at with the Laura Baker grant. I think as most of you are aware, Laura Baker was a longtime member of the Murray community. She was a member of the school board for multiple terms. And Glow might have to help me out a little bit on this, or maybe Jeannie Hable or any of you. But I believe Laura passed away. It's been close to 10 years, I want to say, about 10 years ago now that she passed away, which is hard to believe. We certainly do miss her and her advocacy for Murray schools and what she did to help our students and our staff and our educators and support staff and all those that were involved in education. Dr. Maurice Baker, her husband, and Laura created a grant, the Laura Baker Professional Learning Grant, and that was intended for educators to be able to seek professional development and to be able to do that on an ongoing basis. So each year, each fall, we send out an application for our educators to apply to receive monies that will help them in some type of professional development. Typically, we in the past have seen those applications come in the form of attending some type of training or conference, often is out of state, and the costs that are incurred with those include the travel and the stay, as well as the conference fees or anything, substitute, those kinds of things. And so we're able to send, I think in the past typically we've sent 2 and on occasion 3 individuals to these conferences. It's a competitive, what I'm going to call a competitive grant in the sense that we get more applications than we do awards that are given. Therefore, we have to determine, and the teaching and learning team under the charge of the MEF Foundation, Murray Education Foundation, and Jeannie Hable have given us the charge, and Doc Baker have given us the charge to vet those out. And then we always run those past Jeannie and Dr. Baker and make those awards. Just want to let you know that this year, because of the situation, the pandemic that we're in, we're not traveling, number one, and nor should we be. And number two, the conferences have changed across this country as far as education is concerned, and most everything is being done virtual. And the bonus that that gives us for this particular grant is we're not paying the room and board costs or the travel costs for our educators as we go to these particular types of activities. So what it's allowed us to do, and what we did this year, is we changed it to a first received application, first approved application, and we're going to do that until the dedicated money that Dr. Baker gives us for the year is gone. And what that's allowed us to do is, most of these conferences, so far we've been taking in and going through the approval process for applications, and most of these conferences have ranged, I think the lowest that I've seen is $100, up to about $1,300 for a multi-day virtual conference. And then there's a whole bunch that run anywhere from about the $175 to the $350, $400 range. We don't know exactly, we're pretty close to having run out of money for the amount of applications that we've had come in and approved so far. We're getting very, very close, but right now, it looks like we've approved 10 so far and passed them on to the foundation, which they've approved. And again, we're really close to not having any more money of the dedicated money, but just wanted to let you know that it looks like, somewhere between 10 and 12 individuals or groups. We have at least one application that was approved that had a primary applicant that wanted to take a team to the virtual conference or be part of a team, and that would be a 5-person team. So we're actually probably, when it's all said and done, going to be able to service about 20 individuals through the Laura Baker grant this year, the Laura Baker Professional Learning Grant. So just wanted to keep the board apprised of that although the pandemic has forced us all to change in a variety of ways, in this particular situation, we're able to keep the Laura Baker grant running and being able to serve in a little bit different way, in a way that I think will benefit our teachers. So are there any questions?
Laura Baker walked at Murray High School around the track every single day that the school was in session. And I don't even know how long you or I were at Murray High School watching Laura, and she really cared about every student in that school.
Laura was special, as you know, to all of us. And so we just want to thank her. Her legacy lives on. That's the beauty of this grant that they have provided. The legacy lives on. And I can't thank Dr. Baker enough and Laura enough for the foresight that they had to create this grant, and for the Murray Education Foundation and Jeannie Hable to oversee this grant on their behalf so that we can make this happen for our educators. So thank you, Lou.
It's clear as day, I can remember sitting on the bus, one of my first conferences with Laura, and she said, Belinda, you do what's best for kids, you'll never go wrong with the test board number. And I will never forget that and try to live by that.
Good advice.
She is amazing. Next, we will go with Mr. Roberts on our snow day protocol.
Thank you, Murray City School District Board. Appreciate this. There's not a lot of changes to this other than a pretty drastic change. So, hold on. The calling tree, the organization in which we're going to contact individuals and contact parents of the school district, as well as get the information out to media and stuff like that's not going to change. What's going to change is we're proposing that instead of a snow day, that we have a remote learning day. The time period in which that day will start will be the same as if it was a snow day, and they would need extra time to get to school. Now, instead of extra time to get to school, they'll have extra time to eat another bowl of Frosted Flakes and get situated in front of the Chromebook. So the teachers will have their tools and equipment necessary to do that. If they need to, they'll have time to be able to come into school to have the technology tools necessary if they don't have those at home to do that. The principals and head custodians will still be available there to assist any students that might come as a result of not being aware of the situation. So we are excited about this opportunity. We have the tools and technology to do this. It eliminates a makeup day, which I know you guys are great fans of. As a school board, I'm trying to decide when to do that, and parents will be excited to know that there's not a makeup school day over spring recess or some other holiday. So we're excited about this. Do note that based off of that, that on that day, all field trips will be canceled or activities, as well as breakfast and lunch programs will not be available. No preschool will be on those days because the buses will not be running to pick those students up and drop them off. And then also too, any extracurricular activities appointed to or scheduled for our school buildings will be on a kind of a one-on-one basis, depending on what it is and how much resources they'll need, and if the weather gets better in that day. So any questions or comments, concerns? Okay, thank you.
That is a protocol, so we don't need to vote.
Yeah, that's not a vote. We just wanted the board to be aware.
All right, so we'll now turn our time over to our superintendent to talk about our return to school plan.
Hey, well, good evening, thank you. This evening, in our school return to school plan, we have some things that we have delayed due to the current COVID situation that we need to address. In the plan, it does say by December 1st. I would propose maybe we extend that out to our next board meeting, which I believe is December 10th, but I wanted to get these items or these things brought before the board so that we can be thinking about them. And then Vice President Johnson, if you wanted to have a discussion tonight, certainly could. The things are, first of all, assemblies. So in our return to school plan, it does say school administrators will be asked to use technology for all school assemblies for at least the first term of the school year. And schools may hold small group assemblies for students and staff only if the following can be met. And then assemblies will be reassessed each term and guidance provided to school administrators. So currently we are still on a hold with assemblies, even though we're in the second term, given our current status. So I apologize, this one's coming a little bit late because it said it will be reassessed every term. We have had conversations with our principals and they still feel like doing Zoom assemblies and the way they've been doing them is the best way. So that one is maybe not as hard and fast that we need to decide, but I think definitely something to put on your radar to be, if there's something different you'd like us to do, if you feel like we should be opening assemblies. The next one is community education and Murray community education dance classes. So currently we have no community education or MCE dance classes will be held through the end of the 2020 calendar year. The offering of community education classes and also the dance classes for 2021 will be evaluated, and it did say by December 1. So currently, again, we are not holding community education or Murray dance classes. The Murray Community Dance is a very, very popular program. And Kristen Davis, who runs that program, did send out a survey, and our individuals are very excited to return. There was a question of if they would return in January or would they return in August, and it was about split. I think some are very comfortable coming back in January with the right precautions. Some are still lenient to be able to do that, knowing that the spaces we have to do community ed dance are limited. So that's what I think the board will need to thoughtfully consider, how that looks. It will involve extra cleaning protocol for our custodians. There's some layers to that I think need to be thought through. With community education, we would, if the board chooses to have community education go, we would probably need to delay starting that until at least February, because we need to get classes set up. Currently, we do not have any night supervisors in our buildings because we haven't been doing facility rentals. And so we would need time to hire those individuals. Field trips are currently suspended for the first term, and then again, it says they'll be reevaluated on a term-by-term basis without an expectation for an earlier review or consideration. Field trips are not guaranteed to occur at any point during the school year. So currently, we're also on hold on field trips, and quite honestly, there's not really anywhere to go on field trips. But I think with that, we also need to think about overnight travel. So overnight travel, if you recall, for all of our athletic and extracurriculars has been put on a temporary pause. There hasn't been anything offered. However, as we move into winter and spring sports, that may very well change. And those individuals are ones that had their season lost last year. And so depending on how that looks, I think that's something that we'll need to discuss. And that may be premature now simply because we don't know how we're moving forward yet with those activities. And then facility rentals. Again, in our plan, we have no indoor facility rentals will be allowed through the end of the 2020 calendar year. Facility rentals for 2021 will be evaluated by December 1. This would also be, we would need to hire personnel again, night supervisors to be able to do supervision if the decision is made to open up facility rentals. So a lot to think about, on top of the fact that there are 3,900 new cases today and a lot of things that are going on. The one thing I can say is I think the protocols that we have put in place are working. And I think the fact that we, for lack of a better word, pared down just to our educational opportunities has been great. And we have seen, we're not seeing spread in our schools, and we're also, our custodians are able to manage, I mean, they're spread thin, but they're able to manage all of the additional cleaning from the school day. And if we introduce these, we will need to think about how to provide support in order to make those things continue to happen. So just wanted to put that on your radar. And again, my proposal to the board would be perhaps we make decisions on this on our December 10th board meeting, but I will leave that up to you, Vice President Johnson.
Do we want to have a discussion now about this for a minute and then make a decision, or does everybody want to think on it?
I guess I would have a proposal. I mean, we're kind of talking about stuff. I'll look at Murray Community Ed, Murray Dance. It's all or nothing. Do they have the opportunity to come back and say, here's how we would do it differently, and maybe reduce it, minimize it, become more of a hybrid program that we might be more willing to consider? I'm not committing right now to anything, just understanding. Is there another option in what
Which
you would
is
say?
kind of interesting because the baseball team came to me and that's what they kind of had a proposal of how they could make their tournaments work, which they put some thought into. So I appreciate it.
I don't know that.
I mean, happy to, I'm sure that they would be happy to do that. And I can absolutely have Kristen reach out to Becky, the dance coordinator. With community education is run by us. And so we could certainly put together a proposal. I'm not sure there's.
We're heading down the wrong path in many ways regarding the number of cases.
Right. But I'm happy to, we could reach out to dance and ask them, could you do a hybrid, or how could you do things differently? I am happy to ask that. And if it would be okay, I can have that and probably give them 2 weeks and then get that out to all of you. So that could be something for the December board meeting. Okay, I will do that.
I believe that as little girls with their masks in the dance room, that they're hugging each other all the time. And I just think it's critical that we have safety for all of these young little girls because they don't understand. So if you've ever watched one of their little recitals or even watching them practice, I think it would be very difficult.
So I like your proposal, but maybe we can look at these one at a time for just a minute. And let's start with assemblies, and I just have a little bit of discussion about that. Personally, at least, I don't know what the time frame would be, but for now, I think Zoom and Google is getting some of these things done with these same guidelines. And so at least through the end of this term, which is the end of January, middle of January, but that's my personal thought.
I agree. I think I would like to step into
And then look at it,
end of this term.
and look at it again at that point. So.
I think we're fine on that one. We did just put by term in there, so I think that we're fine. If you all feel comfortable continuing assemblies the way they are, our principals have been amazing.
Yeah.
They're doing their rallies and they're doing other, all kinds of things through Zoom. Is it ideal? Not necessarily, but the one thing that is great is it allows our online students as well as our in-person and hybrid students to participate. So all get to participate kind of on the same level at some point.
Yeah, I like that because I think that's that, looking outside of the box instead of just saying, no, it can't happen. Community ed, what do you guys want to move forward with what Jared was talking about? Do we want it to be for all of community ed or just dance? Community ed's a pretty big
With adults.
animal.
I think the most adults would probably, I would like to think more responsible, but maybe not.
Or understand if it's still
Right.
paused till August.
Right.
It's those little tinies that are saying, I don't want to dance, and you know what they're saying, like.
But I wonder, because oftentimes the adult evening, some of our teachers are there, so it's art, it's accounting, and for our teachers to be able to be there, they need to have quite a few people, otherwise they shouldn't have to be there, because there wouldn't be enough money to pay them to do these extra evening things.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess my
My other concern with this would be putting more stress on our staff.
For sure, that's actually what I was gonna say, is I need to put more stress on our staff, and I don't know if you can put one program over another. And I love our little dance program because it gives a lot of kids opportunity, but you wanna think on that one until next month of what your thoughts are on that? Field trips? Sounds like there's nothing going.
There's not anything going, so,
So we just can go, we said turn by turn. like,
right,
so
if you're, we could continue with that, so.
Okay, and so in that, the overnight request, so, the problem with overnights that I'm hearing is right now is when they need to start registering for like March type of tournaments and such. So it's kind of that same thing, they're hoping to not get a hard no, but can we start planning it, knowing it might not happen? So what do you guys think about that?
And we don't know if March, if we're gonna have a vaccine that rolls out, it's possible, things might start opening back up.
Yeah.
For everything, by then.
Tournaments might get canceled too, I mean, it could go either way.
Exactly.
What do you guys think?
Well, if you're going to St. George on a bus and you have a whole bunch of kids with masks, or would it be better for parents to take their
So
child?
baseball's proposal is that every parent would transport and lodge their own students.
Okay.
And so that's where I said they were kind of thinking of ways to make it work within guidelines. And so
So that's perfect. I think
What
that,
about our low income? With that
he had done kind of a loose survey and every parent, my understanding is baseball parents just travel. You had a baseball player, didn't you? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was at Oakcrest, so.
but I mean, like, you're used to going here, there, and everywhere to play baseball. So that's just the information I was given, so I don't know about that.
I think that's a valid question on the equity portion.
So, but they'd have to bring up kind of this is how we would work it out, and we're saying,
I'm not saying no yet, right now I'm not saying yes, I just want to understand if there's some option that we haven't really thought of that could make things work in some way.
and that would be tennis, that would be softball. And I do worry about those kids, particularly because well, it's kind of interesting, their sophomore year, they lost almost all their games to rainouts. And then their junior year didn't exist, and now they're seniors, and they're worried they're not going to get to play ball. So I think that sounds like a good, not say no, but
So it sounds like I can, if you'd like me to send out to our extracurriculars that at this time, if you need to register for an overnight travel, you can, but with the understanding that it's not a no, but it's not a yes. It's a, we need to see where we are, and they need to make sure that they're able to get refunds and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's great, but I also maybe run that by the administration first, because, so we're all on the same page, how about that?
Sure, and I can do that, and I can talk, and then I can report back at the next meeting, kind of the conversation that we've had.
I just don't want to bypass them, but they need to be part of the conversation, the administration. All right, facility rentals, any thoughts on that? That one does need to be done by December 1st.
And again, I think if the board voted to say we wanted to a little bit more time to study this till December 10th, you could make a motion to do that, since this is a board approved document, and we could adjust that date in our plan.
I would propose that the school board, we talk about it maybe in one of our other meetings, but each one of us needs to decide, would it be safe to have that? Because I think that's what you really have to be so careful with, because it's with our students, and I would hate to have some big lawyer come along because we did something wrong.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Cammy.
What all goes into the facility rentals? What types of groups are doing that?
Any and everything. I mean, we are a public building, so if we open that up, it could be anything from concerts, dance recitals, basketball camps for club sports, church, yeah, we've had churches. Junior jazz is run through our city program, so that is part of our memorandum of understanding, so that will continue.
Oh, that will.
Yes, that's part of, so we still have the agreement with Murray City. So Murray City is, we have still honored that agreement. However, they've been fantastic. They are delaying things. They are not, they've pushed way back because they're not sure that it's safe to bring these groups together. And out of consideration for the school district as well, they've really kind of held off because they want to, they know that the most important thing right now is being able to keep our schools open for our kids for the academic day, so.
So for clarification, what was your motion to extend the date to review this stuff by December 10th? Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a motion, can we get a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? And any discussion? Okay, so we'll just, everybody keep that careful consideration.
President Anderson, did that answer your question about who rents our buildings?
Yes, that did. Thank you. Yeah, that answered. I did have one more question going back on field trips.
Yes.
How does that impact our nature center?
So if you recall, the Nature Center is closed for this year, so we have not opened the Nature Center. I appreciate Assistant Superintendent Bushnell working with the Nature Center and Judith Payne, and the decision was made at the beginning of the year mutually that there is just not a way, there is no way to physically distance at the Nature Center. And so it has been closed for this year.
Their activities are.
Thank you for clarifying that.
All right. Do you have any more discussion on those?
If any board members would like me to gather additional data, I will get during what you've asked and gather that. I will also talk to Kristen Davis regarding community education. That kind of falls under my wheelhouse too. So she and I will talk and see kind of what our thoughts are on that and the reality of being able to get that program up and going and the sustainability of that at the beginning of the school year.
Okay, so,
Okay.
all right, it looks like we are to our closed session, so I need to pull the board and see if we're ready to go to closed session.
Yes.
Well, yes, Elizabeth. Yeah. All right. Superintendent.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to ask for closed session if Assistant Superintendent Bushnell, Director Dean, Director Robbins, and Director Hamilton will stay. So the remainders are able to be excused.
You guys have been hard.
You mean Director Williams as Director Robbins?
It's not codified, it's not reified, it's nothing. So, thank you, Jeanette. Thanks, Jeanette. Yeah, when we had kids together before, I didn't know he could do a job, and he was like, she was a principal, and he was like, I was a cheerleader for her. And being about school, he's so successful. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right, I just think a lot of these things are like, he's the reality.
Pumpkin roll's coming up. Pumpkin roll's coming up.
Right
Right now. As soon as,
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you for
We need to end it, right?
Yes.
And then.
Oh,
we have to-
actually,
Because we're on Lewis County, we just have to
Yeah.
stop.
Thank you, sir.